So it's the halfway point of Senior Road Tax. It's Heat 2, Groups A versus C. And it's two of the title protagonists on the front row of the grid. Dennis Toom starts from pole position, having been the overall fastest out of 35 drivers in time qualifying, having the current points leader alongside him on the front row. His teammates at Kraft Motorsport, the 338 of Hannes Überfeld. Nevio Fischer and Tom Müller will be rounding out row 2 ahead of Dylan Hetler and Jori Schoens. Leandro Fischer and Ben Kaminski round out row 4 ahead of Theo Lang and Zino Falke. Leander Schneider will be joined on row 6 by Jenny Gimpel with Benjamin Berger and Nick Danchenko rounding out row number 7. Fabian Stedding and Lukas Hanser round out row 8 ahead of Gregor Feigenspan, Lendruers, Jarel Vanneslow and Leon Asman rounding out the top 20. Completing the 23-strong grid will be Gabriel Svitala, Hugo Müller and Maxim Koenig rounding out the grid. So the drivers head on to their official formation lap, 10 minutes plus 1 lap, as the sun continues to beat down here. Temperatures now 30 degrees Celsius here in eastern Germany.
Es wird richtig heiß, nicht nur das Wetter, sondern vor allem die Action auf der Strecke wird richtig heiß. Mit eben Dennis Toom und Hannes Überfeld in der ersten Startreihe. Und auch Reihe 2 dahinter ist nicht weniger spannend. Mit Nevio Fischer und Tom Müller direkt nebeneinander. Auch die haben ja in diesem Jahr und auch in den vergangenen Jahren sich schon das ein oder andere Mal kennengelernt.
Yes.
Bin sehr gespannt.
Particularly in juniors back in 2020 and 2021 when you had Tom and Nevio battling against each other. I remember Tom having a fantastic race at Wackersdorf in 2020, and his mum was absolutely shouting from the gantry underneath the commentary position, even though nobody could hear you at the, well, they could hear you at the circuit, but they couldn't hit, and I think I was on the live stream commentary remote from home. I think that was 2021 or something like that. But it's great to see these drivers progress through the order. But the red lights are on the gantry. Sebastian, take us through the start, please, buddy.
Es wird jetzt gleich die Ampel ausgehen und dann heißt es 10 Minuten plus eine Runde Renndistanz mit den beiden Kraft-Motorsport-Piloten in der ersten Startreihe, mit Nevio Fischer, mit Tom Müller in Reihe Nummer 2 und dahinter geht es dann weiter mit Hetler und Schoens. Start ist freigegeben, auf geht's mit einem sehr guten Start für Dennis Toom, für den Tabellendritten in der Meisterschaft. Sie kommen erst einmal alle durch die erste Kurve hindurch. Das sieht erstmal sehr, sehr ordentlich aus. Man versucht natürlich jetzt sich so ein bisschen zu finden. Auf Platz 2 liegt übrigens mittlerweile Nevio Fischer. Dann auf Rang 3 ist es
Shortcut taken
Hetler.
by, one of the Kraft Motorsport carts. I think it might have been Leandro, possibly. Leandro Fischer, maybe. It's a bright green race helmet, and they do have similar race helmet designs to Nevio and Leandro at the moment, but looks like Tom Müller keeping on the coattails of Hannes Überfeld as they come through the penultimate right-hander. But yeah, someone was shortcutting out of turn number 5, and it was definitely a Kraft Motorsport kart as, we've had one go off at the penultimate right-hander, but after the opening lap, Dennis Toom leads, Nevio Fischer giving chase.
Dahinter Dylan Hetler und Hannes Überfeld, Tom Müller und Leandro Fischer. Auf den Positionen 3 bis 6. Juri Schoens 7, Theo Lang 8, Zino Falke und Ben Kaminski. Von Juri Schoens sind wir natürlich auch geblendet worden in diesem ersten Rennen, was er da für einen starken Lauf absolviert hatte. Jetzt soll sich das Ganze gerne wiederholen. Es gibt eine 3-Sekunden-Zeitstrafe gegen Startnummer 330, Ben Kaminski, der diese bekommen wird, weil er mit mindestens mal einem Reifen, maximal 2, bei in der Startphase außerhalb der Korridorbahn.
Yeah, he was the one that broke formation before they went lights out. So that has happened before, and it's not the first time we've seen that today. We saw that in the Minimax race just a few moments ago with the 101 having that penalty. But yeah, I mean, it's just really you've got to be on your A game in senior road taxes. There's going to be 3 wide coming down the stripe and down into turns 1 and 2 as someone's gone straight on and hit the gravel and has had to go wide and has brought dust onto the circuit. That was the 305 of Gregor Feigenspan, another one of the Kraft Motorsport contingent. Oh, it's getting a bit racy there for 4th. And that was Hannes Überfeld, I think, just lost a couple of places.
Leandro Fischer?
Yeah, Leandro Fischer, who's got Tom Müller breathing down the back of his neck. Müller's made a mistake, and now That's going to allow Joris Schoens to get through. But Dennis Thum just controlling the pace at the beginning, at the front end of the field. You and I have both spoken to Dennis this weekend. Dennis said, well, thank God I'm not having to use as many tyres as I did when I was at Anfing. I think he said during free practice he was going through about 10 to 12 sets of Mojo D5s.
Oh, es gibt den Dreher! Ausgangskurve 1. Beinahe wäre es da zu einer Kollision gekommen. Quer von links nach rechts über die Gerade geschossen, über die Strecke geschossen. Glücklicherweise ist da alles gut gegangen. Es müsste...
I got a feeling that is... Oh, that's 330.
Ben Kaminski.
Oh dear. Brakes formation on the start and then, ouch, coming out of turn 3.
That was a close one. Code Brown the second.
Clean up on aisle 3, please. But we joke, but we kind of understand what these drivers are going through out here, folks. 30 degrees temperature. They're going to feel like they're roasting at about 45 plus degrees in these race suits, race helmets. I've spoken to a multitude of drivers when they are competing in conditions 30 degrees plus, and they are perspiring. They're out of breath. This is hard. This is taxing. You're dealing with high speed, G-forces up to 2 times the force of gravity through certain corners. You're pulling speeds of about 115, 125 kilometers an hour, depending on how fast you're going down the start-finish straight. But at the front end of the field, it's a 3-way scrap between the 3 Kraft Motorsport teammates. Thum leading, Nevio Fischer second, Hannes Überfeld giving chase down in third. Fourth, it's Joris Schoens. Leandro Fischer rounds out the top 5 with Zino Falker in sixth. And the top 3 were 0.3 of a second apart. You cannot put anything between them. Black and white warning flag to Theo Lang in the 320. Currently running 8th ahead of Dylan Hedler and Benjamin Berger, who ran at the top 3.
Vorne an der Spitze der führende Dennis Thum auf Platz Nummer 1, während hier Zino Falke sich überholen hat lassen von Tom Muller. Dann Nevio Fischer in der 2. Position und Hannes Überfeld als Drittplatzierter ist da im Moment in der Logenperspektive. Welche Rolle nimmt Nevio Fischer hier in diesem Rennen ein? Denn die 3 Teamkollegen untereinander sind ja nur 2 davon direkt in der Meisterschaft gegeneinander unterwegs mit Hannes Überfeld und Dennis Thum. Ich weiß noch nicht, inwieweit dort Nevio Fischer in dieses Konstrukt hineinpasst und auf welche Art und Weise.
The other thing is, the dark horse here is not any one of the top 3. It's the driver in 4th, Joris Schoens. Now, I've known Joris for a number of years, still sporting his Dams Racing team overalls as well. So he is really closing them in. Leandro Fischer, in the meantime, is also going with Schoens and has just set the fastest lap of the race on lap 6, 51.485. So at the moment, the Kraft Motorsport entity is thinking, you know what? Strength by numbers is a big, big advantage that you can have. And obviously, Fischer is not as high in the table rankings as is the driver behind him and the driver in front of him. So he's got to be very, very wary how he plays the team game. Hannes Überfeld has got Joris Schoens breathing down the back of his race overalls because Überfeld tried the move on Nevio Fischer going into turn number 3. And I think Schoens is going to pull the trigger very shortly because Überfeld is now having to look over his shoulder. Schoens is now having to worry about it as Leandro Fischer dives up the inside of him. That's a great move there. Through into turn 5 and 6 by Leandro Fischer, past Joris Schoens, and now it's 4 from Kraft at the front of the field. Then we've got 2 from Larea in 5th and in 7th with a sole 42 competition driver. Right. Penalty going to Len Druers. Overtaking after the red line. 5-second time penalty handed to the driver currently down in 18th place.
Natürlich fährt hier Nevio Fischer sein Rennen für sich selber. Ist ja nicht ganz raus aus dem Meisterschaftskampf als Tabellenvierter. Hat ja auch nur 34 Punkte Rückstand auf Hannes Überfeld. Also muss er vor ihm ins Ziel kommen. Auch Leandro Fischer müssen wir da noch mit reinrechnen, denn im Moment ist es ja eine Vierfachführung für Kraft Motorsport. Kann hier Leandro Fischer vielleicht noch vorbeigehen an Hannes Überfeld, dann sieht die Geschichte auch nochmal ein bisschen anders aus in der Meisterschaft. Alles im Moment spricht für Dennis Thum und Luca Thiel. Luca Thiel, der ja den ersten Lauf gewinnen konnte, den ersten Vorlauf. Dennis Thum auf dem Weg, den zweiten Vorlauf zu gewinnen. Und jetzt rate mal, wer in der ersten Startreihe für Lauf Nummer 3 nebeneinander stehen wird.
The gloves will be off for that one, I can guarantee you that much. And that's the last race of the day. And that's at 6:25 p.m. But still with under 2 minutes to go, it is all for themselves at the minute. Thum just casually getting on with the business at hand, just keeping on the racing line. Very much the same as what we saw with Kimi Mai in the Minimax opening heat just a few seconds ago, but you're going to make that possible. Well, looking at the top 7, they were covered by 1.838 seconds after 9 laps. Minutes and 35 to go. And here comes Tom Müller. He's closing in on Juri Schoens for 5th place. I think now the dark horse is not Juri Schoens, it's going to be Tom Müller.
Ja, auch den muss man einfach auf der Rechnung haben. Ich weiß auch noch mit Zino Falke ein bisschen was anzufangen, wenn es dann um die nächsten Positionen darauf ankommt. Also sowohl Juri Schoens, Tom Müller als auch Zino Falke haben alle 3 die Möglichkeit, nochmal vorne zu attackieren. Mittlerweile Leandro Fischer auch wieder dran an Hannes Überfeld, der aber auch dran ist an Nevio Fischer. Und Nevio Fischer wird sich sagen, ey Leute, hinter mir ist ja alles schön und gut, aber ich gucke gerade auch auf Dennis Thum.
He's looking forward. He's not looking back anymore now, as we're going to be heading on to the penultimate lap. Lap 11 about to be completed. The 3:03 from Kraft Motorsport. Dennis Thum, a multi-time representative of Team Germany in the grand finals, leads the way, takes us on to the penultimate lap. Lap 12 out of 13, and the gap between the top 5 was just under 9/10 of a second. Top 7 covered by a second and a half. It's going to come down to the wire because everyone is still playing it a little bit safe, a little bit steady, keep it composed. But now Nevio Fischer starting to look to see of a possible opportunity to overtake Dennis Thum, as we've had one in the wall off of turn number 3. Ben Kaminski, it looks like.
Ist es erneut Ben Kaminski, ein Rennen zum Vergessen für ihn. Wieder ist es Dennis Thum, der vorne das Tempo macht und hinter ihm staut es sich erneut, wie normalerweise nur in Leverkusen am Kreuz Leverkusen auf der A1. Wir haben erneut diesen Mehrkampf an der Spitze und erneut sorgt Dennis Thum dafür, dass die Piloten hinter ihm richtig Druck bekommen. Überfeld vorbei an Nevio Fischer, just in diesem Moment. Jetzt haben wir die Fischer-Brüder direkt beide hintereinander, Nevio und Leandro. Wer versucht nochmal nach vorne anzugreifen? Hannes Überfeld, hat er vielleicht noch irgendwas im Petto, um vorbeizugehen an Dennis Thum, oder war es das? Dann würde Dennis Thum hier diesen Heatlauf für sich entscheiden können. Es sind noch 2 Kurven auf dem Plan. Zweimal geht es rechts herum für Dennis Thum, für Hannes Überfeld, Nevio Fischer und Leandro Fischer.
Dennis Thum takes the win after 13 laps by 64 thousandths, and a top 4 lockout by Kraft Motorsport. Nevio and Leandro Fischer rounding out the top 4. What a close top 7, the closest top 7 we've seen all season. 1.066 seconds. That covered race winner Dennis Thum, Hannes Überfeld, Nevio Fischer, Leandro Fischer, Juri Schoens, Tom Müller, and Zino Falke. Then it was a further 16.7 seconds back to our next place driver, Benjamin Berger, up 5 places from 13th to finish 8th, ahead of Leander Schneider. Lukas Hanser rounds out the top 10, having started 16th, followed by Gregor Feigenspan, Gabriel Sitala, Fabian Stedding, Jenny Gimpel, Hugo Müller, and Len Druers. We are still waiting for a couple of drivers to cross the line, which they have done. Jaroslav Vaneslo, Ben Kaminski, Maxim Koenig, and then Leon Asman rounding out the 20 that finished. Theo Lang and Dylan Hetler out on, so that was Theo Lang that unfortunately went off on lap number 11. Nick Danchenko out on lap 1, but Toom and Teal, 1 apiece. What's going to happen in the final heat later on today? You're going to have to wait and see.